Astrology time. Shane here, daily-astrocat.com. And today is Thursday. It's the 28th of August. It is my daughter's birthday. Happy birthday. And to anybody else out there who has a birthday on August 28th, like Shania Twain, okay? Just throwing that out there. All right, so anyway, hey, the moon's going to be in Scorpio all day long. So by now, your new moon intentions, they should be beginning to blossom. You should start to see little buds on them, little bits of fruit, right? Neptune and Uranus perfect their sextile. What does that mean? It means that they're going to be exact, right? Okay. So, 3 days before, 3 days after, even before then, right? Probably about a week before, a week after. That sextile still in force, only it's applying before and it's separating. It's pulling apart as it goes into the latter phases of it. Kind of act a little bit differently, but that's just splitting hairs, but it perfects today in the morning. Then 8 hours later, the moon completes the yod that would be formed by that sextile. Okay, what's a sextile and what's a yod? All right, let's get into this. Briefly, the sextile is an aspect between two planets that are 60 degrees apart. 60 degrees, that's it, right? There's 6 sextiles in a circle, 360 degrees. That's why it's a sextile, sixth. Now, the yod is the point that's opposite the midpoint of the two sextile planets. So if we have a sextile in Gemini and in Aries, the midpoint would be in Taurus, and that would be at 0 degrees Taurus. So we have Uranus in Gemini, we have Saturn and Neptune in Aries, both sitting at close to 0 Aries, right? That is where the midpoint in Taurus comes in, about 0 Taurus, right? Could be 1 degree, could be whatever. They're retrograde, right? We're going to have planets that are going to start to move back into the signs that they came from. Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus will all go back into the signs of their previous signs. That would be Taurus and Pisces, respectively. So, the yod being at that point of the midpoint, in this case, we're talking about 0 Taurus, right? This indicates a 0 Scorpio for the apex of the yod, because we take and bisect that little chord, go back to some geometry, right? Bisect that 60 degrees, come to 30 degrees, extend it out in the circle, and that goes to 0 degrees. 180 degrees of Taurus is 0 degrees Scorpio, and that's what you got. So, increasingly, our actions are for the better, personally. Okay, they are. They are. It may not feel like it, but they are. You might feel a little bit put upon or set upon or something like that. We'll get into that later. Today isn't pretty, but we are articulating what the new normal is going to look like. Okay? It's a continuation of the energy that is going to be. The moon's going to touch on this briefly and just set it off, right? Like a little flash, right? And you're going to feel that. You're going to feel like, oh, wow, stuff seems like it's happening. But it's the moon. When Mars gets there, then we'll see where we go. And that was the cats opening the door. Don't ask me why, but hey, that's what they do when I'm doing this stuff, right? Today's keyword is surprising, just like that. Surprised the heck out of me. All right, the moon is showing us what the future looks like. Today, the color is burnt wood. Now, details are going to emerge, and they're going to be communicated to all who need to be concerned. Okay? Yeah. Availability, that's curtailed. We're starting a new phase, right? Some of us starting new jobs. Some of us are shifting jobs. Our schedule will change, right? Back to school. Schedules change. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that. School buses, delays. Told you that yesterday. There's going to be more of it then until we get into the Labor Day weekend. Then we're going to be like, okay, now we're going to be good. Okay, but there's a lot of schools that are starting just about now. So, in a strange way, working more can make more time for quality time. Think about that. If you're working a little bit more, but your hours are something that you can decide or determine, then you do have that flexibility. There may be some flexibility in what you're doing. There may not be flexibility in what you're doing. You may have a schedule that's staggered, that you're working weekends or something like that. Still makes time, makes quality time. It's more time for side hustles, right? Less predictable time means more time for doing things that you can do, that you have easy access to. Maybe it's not taking care of somebody's kid. Not that saying that that's happening to me, but I'm just saying that, that may very well be what you are up against. So look, clearly there's, you got time for side hustles. You got time for better health. You got time for all that stuff. Details are going to emerge. They might not be all there right now. You might not have any clue what, you might be like, Shane, what the heck are you talking? And then a week later, you're going to be like, whoa, okay. Hey, my schedule's different. Something changed. Something's different. Okay. Clearly, there are different sets of rules and double standards that are all around. Just look in the news, right? Look anywhere. There's double standards everywhere. With Saturn so prominent, maybe we're being reminded that the I am of Aries represents needs to fully express all that we can be. We need space, okay? That's what we're going to need. We're going to need space. We're going to need to push it out there. Limitations. Who says those limitations are there? You're setting limitations with Saturn and Aries. Limitations. You're just like, okay, hey, I can only do so much, and I'm going to do what I can, and everything else is going to fall into place because there's this abundance that's coming from these other things that just got restructured, and that's the flow I'm going to follow. I will follow the flow. I hope you do too. And that leads us to the moon in Scorpio. What will you discover today? Changes are leading us to a place of sovereignty. That's right. That's where we're putting the limitation on. I am definitely going to do this. I definitely need to accomplish X, Y, and Z. And I can't do it with other things that are nagging at me or making it not possible. So now's the time to claim your sovereignty over your own self. What defines the limits of your spiritual practice? Ooh, there's a tough question, right? We just switched it up on you because now we're in that Virgo. We're coming up to that, the new moon, the lunar eclipses, right? The eclipse cycles, lunar and solar eclipse. We're coming up to that point. What are you going to do? What is it? Is it a double standard? What are the limitations of your spiritual practices? Are they exclusive or inclusive? And can you rise above what would be creating, say, like your own double standard? Are you open enough to other avenues, other ventures, other attitudes, possibilities, whatever it is? Are you open to the astrology that I put out here? Well, clearly you are because you're listening, right? So that's cool. But definitely share it. Definitely put the word out there. We all help. Now, I'm going to explain one little thing. I'm going to do it on the brief one too. But if you happen to comment to me and I comment back and you like my comment, chances are I'm going to follow you. And if you post new content, it comes up in my little thing where people post that I can actually see them when I see them. Not necessarily the algorithm doesn't let us see it all the time. But when I do, I usually comment. I will do the save thing, and I will do what I can to make sure that your content gets the little boost that it needs because you've been providing me with that little boost. So it just keeps on perpetuating, right? Now, every time I'm on the verge of something big, somebody or something goes terribly wrong. It's always out of left field, and it is unprovoked, and it's usually directed at me, right? I'm getting ready for something really good, and then bam, instant misery from left field. Now, over the years, I have begun to recognize this pattern, right? It would happen like job interviews or something like that, promotions, anything. Later on, I had my own business, and every time I was negotiating contracts and I was in some pretty dicey communications with people and stuff like that, I always knew that when I got that misery dump on me, that the next day I would probably come into that contract that I've been working hard for. And in some cases, it was for years. So it really would happen like that. Now, I recognize this pattern. Look, feeling it today, right? I'm just feeling it. The cat had a seizure. This is just stuff that's going on, right? And I just was like, oh my goodness, I just don't know even if I can get this recorded. I set my intentions. I lit my candles. I stated my intentions. I stated some really, really nice intentions for everybody. I really want to grow the astrological community. I stated my intentions I stated some blessings for people that are on YouTube that I happen to follow and admire. And, one of them being Pam Gregory. Set that intention as well. Just trying to set it out there for the entire world. I am not that negative person with the double standard. I try not to do that. And I hope you try to do the same. My intention for you is to make the most of this astrology and the most of this period and to be able to do what's right for you and everybody that you care for. We're building a community. Now, it's a sign for victory. And I tell you what, it works every single time, that misery index, my personal misery index. Not fun. Don't recommend it, but all right. So our event is in 1973, Bobby Boris Pickett. His song, The Monster Mash. You know that song, right? The Mash. They did the Monster Mash. 1973. That's what surprised me about it. I thought it was a little bit earlier. But it's not, 1973, and it goes gold. Now, incidentally, Bobby Boris Pickett was born in Somerville, Massachusetts, a local guy, so very, very good, and he died a while ago. I don't have that there. And our birth is another local person, Todd Eldridge, 54 years old. He's in 1971, he was an American figure skater champion, the world champion in singles, and he won in 1996. Six-time national champion, born in Chatham, Massachusetts, and that's all we got for you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for putting up with me, okay? Sometimes it's just, those cat seizures, oh my God. He had it under the couch too, and I just felt so bad. Normally, if he has it in the open, I try to cover his head and I try to mitigate it somehow. Under the couch, there's nothing I can do about it. I just have to wait till, he emerges eventually, because he's always ravenously hungry after those. So as soon as he got his little kitty stuff together, he managed to shamble out and go into the kitchen and destroy whatever food was in the bowls. And that's what I have for you. Thank you so much for listening. Appreciate and love every single one of you. Our keyword is surprising, and the color is burnt wood. Today is a 4. Happy astrocatting.